afternoon, all, and I'm myself Srijit, the state manager of Polymedicare Limited. And on behalf of our organization, I take this opportunity to welcome you all for today's webinar on stress management on healthcare professionals in COVID-19. Before moving to the session, a very brief introduction about our organization. Polymed is basically a 23-year-old company, and we have one of the top five manufacturers of vascular access devices globally, with a turnover more than 85 billion US dollars. And also, we are the third largest manufacturer of IV cannula globally. And also, Polymed is the largest exporter of consumable medical devices from India for last 8 years, and we have presence more than 100 countries. And we bagged many awards, and we have our manufacturing plants across the globe. And during this pandemic, also to give a better care and support to the COVID warriors, we have launched the personal protective equipments like N95 mask, face shield, VPN kit, like of PPE kit products. And we also focus on training and the continuous medical education. And in current situation, as you know, we also depend on social and digital media. And we have conducted many webinars in different topics by eminent personalities. Today also we have a great personality with us, and I invite Mr. Shizu to introduce today's speaker. Yes, Shizu, please.
Thank you, sir, and good afternoon, everyone. Let me thank you for taking out time for today's webinar, and I hope I will be the host this afternoon. The webinar is being recorded and will be shared on social media and other platforms as well. And now let us hear more on stress management for healthcare professionals in COVID-19 from our speaker, Mr. Jitin Kannan, who will be sharing his experiences on impact of stress on work and personal lives and its management. Now let me give brief introduction about him. He has done MSc Nursing followed by MBA in Hospital Management, and presently he is working in Kozhikode Medical College as staff nurse and infection control link nurse. And prior to this, he was working in one of the most reputed hospitals in Kerala, that is Aster MIMS Kozhikode. And in addition to this, he was also in medical team during Nipah virus outbreak and flood relief camp in Wayanad district. This is all about him. And before we start this session, I would like to request all participants to drop a message in Q&A section if you have any, so that we can take it forward towards the end of the session. And that's all from my side. Over to you, Jitin sir.
Thank you so much for that introduction. So I'm going to start the section. Okay. Good afternoon all. Today I'm going to have a brief note on stress management for healthcare products in COVID-19. So nowadays we are more eager to see these maps, these data every day, the censuses and all, how many cases are there, how many active cases recovered, that's everything we are so anxious about. So every day what we do, we are all somewhat stressed, whether we are getting more number of cases, more deaths are coming up. So this all add to our stress load. Current COVID pandemic in Kerala will have a high impact in nursing. Working at bedside in a pandemic situation make nursing a highly demanding profession. Here we need to have to hear the patient, their needs, and also importance of communication to reduce stress. Do we have any stress? That's an important question what we have to ask to ourselves here. When we are taking a problem into our mind as a serious issue, it may add to our stress load. Am I audible?
You're audible, sir.
Yes, you are.
Yes, thank you. I'm continuing. So it may add to our stress load. Not every treatment guidelines keeps on changing, or the treatment guidelines keeps on changing. It also additionally whether we will able to control the COVID pandemic or whether we'll be able to treat a patient successfully. This all add to our stress. And even the thoughts about our family. We are many of the staffs are being separated from their family for COVID treating the COVID patients and all. So many of these things will add to our thoughts, and this ultimately results to stress about our family, whether they are safe, whether I will be able to join them at after duty, whether I'll be getting any COVID. like whether I'll be spreading the COVID to my family. This all are adding stressors which will be adding to them, to a particular individual after COVID duty. So stress, we need to know what is about stress, and its definition will be able to understand. So stress occurs when an individual perceives that the demand of an external situation are beyond his or her perceived ability to cope with them. So Lazarus and Folkman's definition, stress occurs when an individual perceives that the demand of an external situation are beyond his or her perceived ability to cope with them. So it's an image. This is showing definitely what is stress is all about. When the demand of external situation is getting high, the external pressure is getting high, the perceived coping ability, which has been very less when compared to the demand of the external situation, ultimately it will be leading to stress. When the external pressure are getting more, and whether if we are not able to fight against it or we are not able to get out of it, it will be leading to stress. There are different types of stress. This eustress, distress, acute stress, and chronic stress. Eustress, it's a positive or good stress. It is an ultimate. Every individual should have a eustress for a better outcome. And also distress, it is a negative or bad stress which everyone should avoid of. And acute stress are there. It is short-term stress, and also chronic stress is a prolonged stress. So the four types of stress what we always see. We can see the difference between eustress and distress. Eustress is a positive or good stress. When we see the distress, it generally feels unpleasant negative stresses. Eustress even energizes, and distress often depletes the energy. Eustress generally short term, but distress is long term, or it can also be a short term. Eustress can improve the performance of an individual, but distress decreases overall performance. It is believed with the coping mechanisms, eustress, distress is of the perceived outside coping mechanisms. Eustress always motivate one to do its best outcome, whereas the distress can lead to physical illness or mental fatigue and emotional depletion. The other example for the eustress is, even if someone is starting a new job voluntarily, receiving a promotion, taking a vacation, moving into a new home, learning something new. This all, like when we are shifting to a new home and all, we'll be having slight stress, whether we are shifting from a normal occasion or normal adaptation, we are going to a new adaptation. But this all will be adding to slight stress, but it will be helpful for a motivation, or it will be adding motivation to the individual. But when the distress, for an example, death of a significant person, financial challenges, or the person is been fired at work, these are some of the stress which we cannot replace, or we cannot go back to the same situation. But in case of eustress, somehow we can change the situation. It is not so permanent, but this distress is completely permanent. The death of the significant person cannot be brought up again. When we are seeing the difference between acute stress and chronic stress, the acute stress, it is a sudden, short-lived, threatening event. When the chronic stress we are looking to, it is an ongoing environmental demand. Acute stress example, new challenges, athletic competition, presentation at work, running late, second stuff. It's a sudden effect. It will be causing acute stress. This is something about a sudden event. When we are seeing to a chronic event, it is a long-standing relationship issues, stressful job, like the stressful job, everything it will be starting from the beginning of the job till the it will be continuing. So it's somewhat long duration will be there. Chronic illness, successive failures, annoying boss, and all will be creating chronic stress for an individual. So this is the difference between acute stress and chronic stress. So the type of stressors or the source of stress, we have life events or daily hassles, external or internal stressors, physical, psychological, and social stresses are the three types of stresses which we are having here. It's a cycle all about the stress. If an individual is perceiving some stresses are there, for that particular stressor, the individual will react to it. And wear and tear of the body and organ system will be happening. The organism or the individual's body will be responding to particular stress, and it will be reducing the optimum level of health of an individual if we are not adapting it particularly, or if we are not making that particular stress. It will be reducing the optimum health, and it will lead to increased sensitivity towards stress. Then again and again the stress will be happening. It's a cycle of stress. for my point of view, I'm dividing the COVID era. Like I'm dividing the COVID into pre-COVID, in COVID, and post-COVID era. So for the pre-COVID and all, the duties of a staff or the all healthcare providers were normally is not been so affected because from the study for the academic and all we are being practiced like for the nursing program and medicine program and all every individual is been practicing the same thing what we have to practice in future. We are not been so looking forward with the PP and we are working for the patient. It's all comes to a nowadays what in a COVID scenario every individual is being so stressed and they need to be in additional stress, then they need to be in a PPE and they need to work the same thing what they have been taught in their programs, but they additionally the burden is being getting increased in COVID. There have been additional stresses there, they are not having a proper vision is not available, they are not able to put a cannula properly. This all will lead to the stress in an individual. So that is the in COVID. And post COVID we don't know when the post COVID will be happening, when the COVID scenario everything will be shut down, will be reducing, and also whether the post COVID will be so similar as the pre COVID, whether our health facility everything infrastructure will be so similar to the pre COVID or not, everything will be ultimately changed into a new scenario. That's all. This all things will be in COVID era is adding a stress on us. So stress are at various levels we are having in an administration level is having and also in an employees level also we are having different kinds of stress. In administration level and all our nursing officers and also all the higher authorities and medical superintendent, everyone is having a particular big amount of stress because of this COVID era. And all. We have the sharp shortages are occurring in every hospital. Assigning duties very difficult because we are having a number of patients, we are having only less number of staffs here. I need to consider employees' health and capabilities. Many of them will not be able. Some kind of additional comorbidities will be there in every staff and all. Like some will be having asthmatic, will be asthma will be having. Some of the employees will be having asthma, and particular some employees will be having hypertension, cardiac problem. And that particular employee should be posted into another area where they are not exposed or they are not in a COVID area. They need to be separated. So we are having only little number of employees for this particular institution or a particular institution who is coping on COVID or fighting for COVID and all. So this all lead to a stress in administration level, high pressure is there, less number of staff or more number of patients. That's what happening. So this all add to the administration level stress levels. And also when we are talking about the employee level, workload is the more thing, what main thing what is affecting the stress or what is increasing the stress in an individual. Like the workload is getting increased, more number of patients and if two staffs are carrying a number of patients or in an ICU, many are having 1:1 ratio is not been able to the administration or the administration is not able to follow 1:1 ratio and all. This all create additional level of stress in employees also. And new exposure, some kind of new exposure will be there. Some like some people will not be able to not so equipped with a new kind of biomedical devices, HFNC and all. It is now updated version of more medical instruments and devices. This all create employee level stress and also anxiety about their parents, their children, how they are, whether they are able to do their all daily activities very perfectly or not, whether they are happy, whether they are very sad about our separation of when they are in the duty and all. This all create additional level of anxiety in employees level even. This all add to stress. Are we stressed? Every staff nurse entering a corona isolation department, whether they're in PP, they think of whether they are protected or not, patients under control or not. Some patients will be agitated, some psychiatric patients will be there in a positive patients. So they will be very much agitated, they'll be attacking the staff, whether they will be able to cope with that kind of patients and all. More number of admissions are coming, whether they will be able to give proper care to the patients. Demand mismatch is very much increasing the stress level in every staff because more number of patients demanding many kind of things. Some patients will be demanding hot water, some patient will be demanding cold water. In such a scenario, many of these demands are coming, and here in this particular scenario of a COVID scenario, this patient demand will not be so much. We cannot be able to match this their demands and what we have. This all create additional demand mismatch, ultimately lead to stress increased stress level in every healthcare providers. and new posting. Some of the staff will be newly posted in COVID area from a particular, if they are working in an operating room, they are shifted to a COVID area, they will be feeling very much difficult to cope with that, because in ICU and all, in a PP, there will be very much stress in them, because they are new towards many kind of new instrument like high flow and nasal cannula instruments and all, devices and all. So, and also family and peer groups, whether they are safe or not, how they are doing that all, and daily getting updated. But I have shown the first update, like Kerala, where Kerala stands, how many cases are there, how many new cases, how many deaths. This all creates a like panic or stress within an individual or a staff, whether it will be spread from us or to others, and also ICU getting filled with, and we need to get a new ICU set up. From the normal ward, we have to convert an ICU, from normal ward need to be converted to an ICU. But we have faced here, even we are converting every ward to an ICU, new ICU. So we need to get many number of supplies and equipments. We need to have a perfect planning before that, and all of this all create additional burden to staff. And also rotation duties for staff nurses will create additional stress, because it is very difficult to learn the whole setup in a shorter period of time. If they are posted in a new area for a shorter period of time, and after that they are getting leave, and they are joining to another area, then they are coming back, so they will not be so familiarized to work to that situation. This all create an stress in an individual. So these are the challenges what we are facing in a COVID scenario. This pyramid is showing that the first one, we are having unique infection control training across the India are not available. Every day it is getting changed. A unique training, I am recommending a unique training for every infection control nurse or all India should be there to reduce this kind of stress, and as frequent monitoring should be there for the infection control practices in this COVID scenario. And also introduction of new biomedical equipments, disinfection procedure. Many of the biomedical instrument I have already mentioned, like new kind of ventilators are coming up, the disinfection procedure for that, HFNC and all, everything is very much different from what we are having a traditional one what we had before. So this all create additional stress in staff. And also patient attacking and suicide tendency among patients. Many of the other hospitals, many of the patients were attempting to get suicide because of the depression, or they're being getting isolated inside a room, they'll be depressed, and ultimately they will be creating suicide tendency will be there, they'll be trying to suicide, as many of them have committed suicide even. So this all create an additional stress among staff, whether they are safe, whether I'll be able to control them. And patient attacking the staff is more common because of the psychiatric conditions and all among the positive cases. And less studies and articles regarding the infection control in COVID-19 pandemic also add to that. And also stress for us, because many of the studies are now upcoming, because whether the lungs after COVID will be, fibrous tissue will be there. Many of them will be post-COVID, what there will situation, reinfection and all. Many studies need to come up. So this, it will help to reduce the stress among the staff even. And mobilizing the staff nurses from other areas like OT, OP and all, they'll be shifting towards the COVID area. It's also a challenges, and it will also create additional burden or stress among the administration level staff even. And the workload, I can again and again telling, workload is the one of the most important stress which need to be rectified soon, so as to give a motivation for the staff, and also to have a good outcome from the staff and better care for the patient even. So the stress management, when we are coming to the topic, we have to break the stress cycle, what I have shown before. There we need to avoid the stress, or we have to, stress reaction should be so cognitive. So the stresses, we have to avoid them and learn to manage them. So one of the cycle, how we are breaking the stress, we need to avoid the stresses. The other thing what we have to do is the stress reactions. Use the cognitive behavior modification techniques rather than getting stressed or breaking out from the stress. So these are the two things what we need to simply manage as stress. We need to avoid stressors, and we need to have a stress reaction, which is a cognitive behavior modification technique should be used to reduce the stress. We need to engaging can be done. The particular who is the individual, if they are getting stressed, they should be engaged to some other activities which will be helpful them to get relaxation, like music therapy, or they'll be provide, the hospital can provide some kind of additional like entertainment programs for them, like Zoom meetings, and then that some celebrities are coming or some other singers are coming and they're singing song for their duty barrier, COVID barriers, and also like, and also engaging them to other art, like their hobbies, what they are more familiar with. So they can be engaged in some other activities in order to reduce the stress level and focusing on them, focusing whether where they are getting stressed or not. Some of the staffs, what they do is that they never tell whether they are so stressed and all. We can't even find out whether on the face mask will be there. We can't find them like they're so stressed. Because some of the our colleague even we are very difficult to find whether they're stressed or only a particular time later only we'll be able to know, yeah, he have gone for a depression or he has been under high pressure and all. So this all thing we have to focus on every individual. We need to find them, we need to talk to them, but need to prevent a depression or to reduce the stress, we need to talk and we need to focus them. We should not avoid any of them. And also grounding, the basic learning how to cope with a stress, that all a particular grounding should be there from the primary classes and all. Many of them have learned that language properly, and this particular language grounding is should be important. So from the schooling even, the how to handle stress should be a part of our syllabus, to reduce the grounding and all. So it is those are the three things what we need to do if a stress is there, or to reduce some kind of stress levels. Effect of stress on health is an important thing which we need to see, that more than 70% of the total illness are stress related. It's not so surprisingly, many of them are getting sick. Many of the IT professionals or many of the other health care providers, many of them are getting illness out of this particular thing like stress. 70% of today's illness are stress related. And stress can affect the health directly as well as indirectly. Three main direct effects on health illness is triggered by oral arousal of sympathetic and autonomic nervous system stimulations. These are the things what we have to see most probably when a persistent stressors are happening, like persistent stress is there is a release of stress hormones are happening. This will lead to changes in the circulatory system, immune system, digestive system. Particularly, it will be adding to the illness. And also, if some person is having persistent stressor, they'll be having unhealthy behaviors. They'll be having it. Like some of them will be smoking, alcoholic. They can go for an alcoholic drinks, and they'll be going for some stuffs and all. These all things are happening because of persistent stressors. In order to get a relief, if they are also getting this kind of unhealthy stress behaviors, stress relief behaviors, so this all add to the illness again. So the persistent stress is the release of health stress hormones, and this all the systems, circulatory system, immune system, digestive system will be the all function will be altered, and it will be leading to illness. And unhealthy behaviors due to a persistent stressors will also lead to illness. So a diagram showing how the illness is getting because of the persistent stressors. There's a relationship between arousal performance of an individual, Yerkes-Dodson law. Here we have like the tension and arousal anxiety. The optimal level of performance will be there only when there is an like strong belief or strong determination, or if the particular individual is very much reduced from this kind of stresses. Optimum level of performance will be there only when there is a reduced level of stress. And one of the things is adaptation. Like adaptation refers to change that takes place as a result of stressor. When a stressor disrupts the homeostasis, the body adjusts with the adaptive response, which is an attempt to restore the equilibrium of what our body will do. If we are having a stressor, ultimately the body need to get need an equilibrium. They need to get an equilibrium. For that, they will be adapting to the particular scenario, and thus adaptive response will attempt to restore the equilibrium. One of the other thing what we have to see in stress management and stress is that general adaptation syndrome, alarm, resistant, exhaustion. According to Hans Sale, we react in the same way to reduce the stress, whether it is physical or mental. These three things will be there: alarm, resistant, exhaustion. Okay, these three things are happening in every general adaptation syndrome in a stress. So stage one, alarm stage. In this stage, the threat or stressor is identified or realized. Body reacts to the stress, and the stressor upsets the homeostasis. The equilibrium of the body will be altered. Activation of the fight and flight reaction and sympathetic nervous system arousal will be happening in alarm stage. And also adrenal medullary stimulation will be there. ACTH, cortisol, and growth hormone will be released. Once the causal stress is removed, body will go back to the normal state. If it is getting altered, it will be creating the problems.
and it will lead to the second stage, or the resistance or adaptation, whether they will be able to resist or whether they will be able to adapt. The body tries to counteract the physiological changes that happen during the alarm stage. The parasympathetic nervous system tries to return the body to the normal, reducing the amount of cortisol produced. If the cause of stress is not removed, sustained release of cortisol occurs in an attempt to maintain the arousal. Body attempts and focus resources against the stressor. The heart rate and BP begins to return to normal, decreasing the efficiency of the immune system and increased blood sugar level. It may. If it continues for a longer time, one can suffer from fatigue, concentration difficulties, irritability. They will not be able to focus to any kind of activities even. If exhaustion is happening, the last stage, stress is beyond the capacity, body capacity, and the resources are exhausted. Danger of burnout and increased susceptibility to illness and disease. It is the stage where the 70% of illness can happen in an individual. If they are in this stage 3, if they are exhausted more, then they are not able to come back to the normal equilibrium. This will be the most probably threatening event. This stress will lead to 70% of illness, what we are focusing on. These are the alarm stage in a pictorial representation. General adaptation syndrome, alarm stage. In that alarm stage, we have the stresses are being to be identified. Body will be producing adrenaline, fight and flight response will be happening in the alarm stage. If in the resistance stage, if they are coping with the stress, if they are able to adapt with the environment, if the body cannot keep up with the forward and limited resources are gradually depleted. This all can go to the stage 3, exhaustion. All the resources are depleted, normal function unable to maintain, capacity exhausted, damage of is for long term, decompensation, the functional deterioration. The person will not be, the particular individual will not be able to come back to the normal scenario or the normal situation. So the coping is one of the important thing. Coping refers to the conscious effort to resolve the problems, to master the minimize, tolerate the stress. Coping is defined as an ongoing cognitive and behavioral effort to manage specific external or internal demands that are appraised as taxing or exceeding the resources of a person. Lazarus in 1993 defined this coping. So we have 2 types of skill, like we need to focus on adaptive coping skills rather than a maladaptive coping skill. The adaptive coping skills are the best skills which we need to focus in our daily life in order to reduce the stressor. So in an adaptive coping, I'm reading on that adaptive coping skills, we need to talk to a supportive person. This is more important. The colleague, the one who is working with us, we need to have a conversation with them. If they are facing a stressor in the particular working area, they need to have a conversation on that. So it's a supportive person talking to a supportive person. Meditation, prayers, taking a 5-minute break in between a continuous burden or continuous workload, and making a gratitude list, spending some time alone, practicing self-compensation, compassion, and asking for help, connecting with loved ones. Like nowadays we are having Zooms are available, Google platforms are there, and many other apps are available where we can have social chats and all. This all lead to reduce the stressor level. And beware of refusing the negative self-talk. Never ever talk negative on ourselves. Even I'm not able to do, I'm not so perfect to do this and all. This all need to be reduced. And when we are going to the maladaptive coping skills, using alcohol or drugs, and also negative self-talk, overeating or caffeine use, excessive internet use, too much or too little sleep, blaming, criticizing, isolation, relying on others to solve own problems. Even if we are able to solve our problem, we'll be relying on others to solve the problem. Over exercises and all are the examples of maladaptive coping, which we are not so focused on. Okay. Appraisal focused strategies are directed towards challenging your own assumption and modifying the way you think. Distancing yourself from the problem. There's one of the important thing. What we have to do is take a distance from the problem what we are facing on, or challenge. Okay, we have to get out of that. We have to bring a space between the problem or the challenge from ourselves. And altering the goals and values. identify the humor in the situation to bring out a positive spin. Even in many of them, after getting a firing and all, we'll be finding something kind of humor sense will be producing. So if we are finding some kind of, don't even laugh on the boss, but if we are like, if our mind is so set, we are having a humor sense inside, and if we are hearing any firing, we'll be not so upset on that, or it will not be able to add stressor. And problem focus strategies are directed towards reducing and eliminating a stressor or the cause of problem. Example, finding out more information about the issue, learning new skills to manage it, or evaluating the pros and cons of the alternatives. So these are the things what we have to, how the problem is being focused. If we are having a problem, we have to study it properly. We need to find how we have to solve, what are the methods what we can adapt, or how we can modify the problem and how we can solve it. These are the things what we can do if it is a problem focused strategies being focused on. If emotional focus strategies, if we are focusing on, it's adapted towards reducing or preventing our own emotional reaction. Some, after getting stressed, they'll be very angry and they'll be fighting with others and all. So if we are getting a control over our emotions, example, managing feelings by finding methods of release or distraction, such as seeking social support or using relaxation techniques. The relaxation techniques is the best way if we are focusing on more emotional focus strategies being concentrated on. So we need to need of understanding stress and coping to assess for why we are need, like every staff or the every healthcare providers, why they need to understand stress, or why they need to learn more about coping mechanisms or coping. Here, to assess a patient's stressor level, and also to organize or recognize the signs and symptoms of a stress in a patient and himself, to identify the coping mechanism being utilized by the patient, to encourage patients to adopt adaptive coping strategies, to make healthy lifestyle choices, to understand the effective coping strategies for managing on stress. For this all, we need to understand the stress, what is stress, and also coping. And other thing what we have to understand is about the stress management is to, in order to make a well-equipped staff or well-equipped nurses for fight against COVID or even the stress. Here we are having relaxing, like listening to the music, reading, yoga or meditation, breathing exercises, stretching and walking, and humor senses or producing humor in the stress situations. Regular exercise, at least 20 minutes for at least 3 to 4 times at least in a week. And also exercise will burn up the excess adrenaline what we are producing, what we are having in the alarming stages and all. And also release of endorphins, and we'll be feeling very much relaxed in particular after a athletic event or like after a regular exercise event. And also diet, the nutritious food at a regular intervals also can help in reducing the stressor level. We need to avoid self medications and all. And also we have to learn to be more assertive in order to bring down the stressors. We need to build a good supportive network in order to, if we are having a good support network, we'll be able to cope with every situation which we are facing. The time management, this time management is very much important. Like if we are need to produce a project, or if we need to submit a project, or if we need to complete an assignment and all in a particular time, if we are stick on to time, this all will reduce the stressor level. And we need to practice positive thinking, which we don't even know. Like everyone, what we think is like the other one is getting more increment, the other one is getting more, or everything we are thinking of the others, where we are not even having a single time to practice positive thinking in ourselves. We need to give up unrealistic expectations. But like we'll be thinking like, they are there, like I'll be getting more paid, I'll be getting more chances of getting more, I'll be getting more promotions and bonuses, and we'll be getting more expectation if the boss is getting happy. But like these are the things which will be adding to unrealistic expectations. If we are more stick on that things, so if we are not able to meet this particular expectation, it will all add into again stress will be added on. We need to keep a schedule of daily activities as regular as you can. And every day you do an activity you enjoy or find meaningful. Art, like we need to perform art or reading, prayers and games, etc. in a regular interval if you are pacing on. Open up and share your feelings with your family member, friend, or someone who you can trust. Never ever share with someone whom you can't trust on. Okay. And also we need to avoid junk foods, which will be having more pressure on our abdomen, and all our activities, like our body activities will be, mechanism will be altered. Stay up to date with the accurate information about the COVID-19. What happens is many of the fake messages which we are getting in every day, we are getting updated. This all create an unnecessary stress in every individual. So we need to stick on to the accurate information in order to avoid a different kind of stress. Limit the exposure to news or be vigilant about the fake news. Keep a regular sleep awake schedule we need to perform. But in a nursing and all, we are not able to, like every healthcare providers are not able to maintain this. At least if they are in duty, try to manage a sleep and awake schedule for a regular period when they are getting time. Practice mental imaginary techniques even. We are having different kinds of useful, helpful mobile apps other than the gaming apps even. So you can even log in, or you can download the My Wellbeing Index, Breathe, Relax, Headspace, Meditation, and Sleep. These are some of the logos I have been pasted in the this slides. My Wellbeing Index and Breathe to Relax are all some of the kind of relaxation app which you can focus on, which will be helping you to reduce the stressor level. So previously I have shown one slide regarding the pyramid regarding the stresses and all among those who are working, the challenges faced among the COVID warriors or the staff working in COVID. This is the thing what we have been shown before. For this particular problems, we have some kind of solution need to be focused. So this kind of solution, what we need to focus, like if there is a workload, what we need to focus on is the new appointments. We need to provide.
And also less researches regarding the pandemic. Many studies from the nursing department and various departments should be encouraged, and they should be given a chance to do researches on this kind of if we are having finding less researches are there on this particular COVID. Everyone should be engaged to encouraged to do different kinds of research even. And also mobilizing the staff, even if it is better to not to mobilize more staff from some department like OP and all, it will be very difficult for them to cope with this particular COVID and all. So in such a situation, again, we need to focus on the new appointments. If the patient attacking the staff and patients are committing suicide, we need to post some here and all. We are having MSc psychiatry nursing students, postgraduates are being posted, telecounseling methods are being followed. They'll be daily calling and updating the staff, patients. They'll be giving the updates, and they'll be submitting reports to the nodal officers and even nursing officer regarding the how the patient is. If they are having any kind of stressor, this will be identified during this conversation between the PG nursing students and the patient. This particular report will be being submitted daily to us, and on that we are providing, or we are focusing on finding out the better solution for this particular situations. And new biomedical equipments. If the new biomedical equipments are coming, we need to focus more on training classes, which in that video session should be more focused, because nowadays COVID protocols are there, so we cannot gather many of them. We can use these online opportunities and online platforms to give more training for them. And unique latest training across India. Some training should go on every time. A unit training is more important to reduce this kind of stresses if they are facing that. If we are finding that less kind of focus is given to infection control policies in COVID situation, so it should be given pan India. In India itself, as unique training should be focused and given. So it will be, again, everyone will be more interestingly, everyone can participate, and everyone can have a strong belief this is the particular thing where everyone has been following overall India, and it's the best method. It all reduce the stress level among the staff, And also no unity, no solution. Like even if we are having no unity among the staff or no unity among the medical team, if we are not having a unity, there is no solution. We need to find out, or we need to make up a good unity among the all staff in order to bring a good result, or in order to bring an efficient work results, we need to bring out in that situation, we all need to have a good team and unity. This is the ultimate thing which we have to, in order to reduce a big stress in every staff. So the other things what we are getting, like one of the messages from the staff who are getting like the feedbacks received, what we are receiving from the patients even, will be giving some kind of lift to our staff who have cared this particular patients after this kind of stress. In this particular stress and COVID situation, if you are caring a patient, if they are giving a positive feedback, or if they are giving a good feedback to every healthcare providers who have been worked for that particular patient, this all reduce the stressor among the staffs or healthcare providers even. I hope I am going, this is the last slide, and I hope everyone have understood the how we have to manage a stress in this, particularly in COVID situation even. Thank you for your patient hearing. Thank you all. Over to you, Shiju.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So let's see the Q&A section.
Okay.
So there is one question here. What are the warning signs of stress?
Am I audible?
Yeah, audible, sir. Sir, there is a question. What are the warning signs of the stress?
Actually,
Dividing the stress warning signs into cognitive, physical, emotional, and behavioral signs. And here we are having cognitive. In cognitive warning sign, we'll be having a problem in memory problems will be there, difficult in concentration and poor judgment, anxious thought, and constant worry will be there in a cognitive sign. When we are stress warning sign, it is a cognitive. In physical warning signs, we'll be having aches or pains, diarrhea, constipation, chest pains, and rapid heartbeats, loss of sex drive, and frequent colds will be there as a warning sign in physical stress warning sign. When we are focusing on the emotional warning sign, we'll be having agitation, unable to relax, and also moodiness, and also short-tempered, irritable, depression, and unhappiness is also another warning sign which we can see in a case of when we are looking to the emotional warning sign. And the behavioral, when we are seeing eating more, sleeping too much, neglecting the responsibilities, using alcohol, cigarettes, drugs are the other things. So that we have having four warning signs. Cognitive warning signs are there, physical are there, emotional and behavioral. These are the warning signs which we can see in the stress.
There is another one question. How do you reduce stress in your life?
So it's a funny question for me. Okay. So warning, how I am reducing my stress. Again, music is the thing what I am doing. When I am feeling so stressed, I'll be switching on the music, A.R. Rahman music or Ilayaraja music. I'll be sticking on. This is the this is the thing what I do to
All
reduce.
right, sir. And apart from this, I think if we could speak to our the friend which is closest to our
Yeah, that is the
family.
definite thing. Yeah, but ultimately, what's happening now? If we are going approaching with a problem to them, they'll be bringing up additional problems. Sometimes what happens is all these additional things we have to solve. Some of the friends are like that. No, we need to find some particular person or particular whom we can trust on. That's the thing. That's the main thing. But we have to. Some are there. No, friend cycles are there. I'm not. I was just joking on that, and it's not so seriously. I'm telling. Some of the friends are very much good, so we can share with them. They're very blessing. Some of them will like more than the family members. Some of our friends will be supporting more. Yeah.
All right,
So
sir.
one more question, I think, right? If we have all symptoms periodically, what will you have to do? I think if you are having such symptoms periodically, we need to approach some kind of counselors and all. as a psychological support we need to get. We need to find a solution, ultimate solution we need to get. Which would you choose, a stressful job with a high pay or a relaxing job with a considerably low pay? For this, it's particularly pointing to me a question. A stressful job with a high pay or relaxing job? No, it's not like that. No, every job when we are getting on, and if you are enjoying, like we are having different kind of duties. If you are enjoying that, and particularly if you are getting a good pay, we'll be very happy. If you are even if it is stressful, if you are finding some enjoyment in that, and if you are getting low pay, we'll be happy. That's the thing. But I can reply to that that participant.
It's a very nicely explained, sir.
Okay. I hope everyone queries has been answered, right?
Friends, if you have any
Yeah,
queries,
in fact, it was.
type it on Q&A
Yeah.
section. And over to you, sir. Srijit, sir, please.
Yes, exactly. This is a very nice and wonderful session, and it's very informative. And somewhere in some points, I thought it is thought provoking. Like, we know something, but we are not following something. This is a reality.
That's a
This
real.
is not only for healthcare. Yeah, this is not only for healthcare related or healthcare professionals or healthcare providers.
Yeah.
This is applicable for all those
All
who need to
individuals.
reduce their stress. So yeah, all individuals. But in some point, you have related all these things to the healthcare providers. So it is very nicely done. And if, since I have some doubt regarding these things, since as a human being, it's a tendency. You told that to reduce the stress, we need to keep distance from the problem.
Mm.
So it is not an easy task, I think, because if there is a problem.
Remote coming in behind
If
us.
you are taking a simple example, yeah, it is in day by day it is coming. So it is not a simple task. In that itself, you have explained very well what are the aspects which will be helping us to reduce the stress or how we can keep distance from this problem. And also, I would like to thank you because in between you mentioned some points like we'll be happy if you can make joy or if you can make fun on the people who are shouting at us. So this, even though we were here somewhere, but it has not practiced. So I'm not 100%. I don't know how it works. Anyway, I'm not. I'm going to practice this particular thing in today's session. This is what I thought. Anyway, I have to do this thing. So apart from this, I don't have anything else to do, anything else to say. It was a very nice and wonderful session. And if Shidu, if there is any question is not attended or not answered, you can go with that.
So I'm checking. No more new questions, sir. All the questions we had attempted.
Hope everyone have understood it, right?
Yeah, then I think everyone understood the concept very well, and everyone got some idea about how they can manage their stress.
Because the additionally COVID is getting, no, it is an additional
So
burden, it is an
yeah,
additional stress that we have to mix up with that content and all.
yeah, that in your first slide itself, you mentioned that is a common slide. It is not for not only for healthcare professionals or
So for
healthcare
everyone.
providers. Even a
So
layman, they are looking at, yeah, this data. Many people are keeping the data on recording. Even some people in their mobile, some people are keeping printouts because they want these data. I don't know why these people are keeping, and the people are
no,
keeping
more worried whether
being
it
very
is
more
getting
on that.
reduced or not.
Yeah,
No, many of the function, everything has been
yeah,
altered. Many of
it's
them
a
are not
fact.
going to go out. Tourism, everything has been affected, and their sales and jobs are also affected. So they may be very much anxious and stressed on that even. Maybe because of that, they are
Yes,
daily
yes, yes.
updating and all.
Yeah, yeah, it might be. Anyway, it was a very nice session. Thanks, Nitin.
Okay, thank you so much for
look
providing.
forward to hear
Like, I'm
from
very much
you
thankful
more.
to.
So in future.
Yeah, I'm very much thankful to you all
Yeah,
because
Shiju, you
this
can conclude.
platform is especially great for me.
Yeah.
This is my first platform with an like such a nice participants and panelists over here. And it's a very responsive. Like everyone is responding to this. What is the slides questions even? Very much thankful for providing me this opportunity. I hope whether I'll be having another section even. I am very much happy to have it.
Yeah, sure, sir. And thank you, Jitin sir, for this
Okay,
wonderful
good. Good.
session. And
Yes.
I hope all attendees have learned something new from this session. And thank you to all attendees also for giving us their times here. And let's tune with us and let's have another session the next month. Thank you.